welcome back to the Powertex YouTube channel. My name is Keri Sallee, and today I'm going to show you guys how to use your universal medium to make faux stained glass. To start our project, we have to find an image. I just did a Google search and I found these really cute ones on iHeartCraftyThings.com, and I just printed it out on regular copy paper. I'll link this below if you want to make it also. You're going to need a piece of thin acetate that you can cut through, and you're going to tape your image to the back. And then I also highly recommend taping your image down to your surface, mainly just so while we're doing all this, it's not sliding around on you, especially when we're doing this outline here in just a moment. To do my outline, I'm actually just going to be using this acrylic paint from the Dots collection from Folk Art. Now, I will say, if I had doing this again after having some playtime, I definitely think I would have used something more 3D, like maybe a puff paint or something in that nature. And here's a couple of reasons why. Number one, the nozzle would be smaller, so I would be able to get smaller lines. And then also, it would have kept more of a 3D ridge, which I think would have been more reminiscent of the iron edges or the iron or whatever it is, the metal. I apologize if there's any stained glass people listening, but just the edges that are in between on regular stained glass, it would have given me more of that 3D kind of puffed up image. I do love on this acetate, if I mess up, I just wiped it up a little bit with a paper towel, and we're just outlining. I went with a really simple image for this because this is supposed to be, it was a little bit of playtime and a little bit of inspiration for you guys, so I didn't do something super intricate, but it would be really fun to try to do something super intricate on this. So I've got it just about done, and then I'm just going to set it aside to dry while we move on to the next step. So to create our colors for our stained glass, super easy. I'm just taking our transparent universal medium, and I'm just adding some alcohol into it. Now I'm creating these colors in these little condiment cups, which you've seen me use before. And again, if you don't have them, they are super easy to get to. I buy them at Walmart in like a bulk pack of like 50 for like $4. But I love using them because it allows me to make little mixtures like this and do things like this. But then I can put the lid on it, and if I don't use it all, well, then I have something for another project later, which I did end up using these for another project, which you will see at a different time. So I'm just playing around with these colors and just adding the alcohol ink as I see the need to get down to those kind of deeper colors that I would want. Here's where we had a boo-boo, and now my hands are blue. Super fun. I had to smurf it for the rest of the day. I would love, actually, let's all tell our secrets. Where's the funniest, maybe most embarrassing place that you had to go with like artsy hands? I had to go to a work meeting after this, and I got as much blue off as I could, but they're used to me having either paint somewhere or funky hands. Thankfully, they love me and they let me get away with it. So you can see I'm doing a bright color pattern here of that hot pink, which I am in love with, a blue, a lime green, and then a yellow, which I wanted my yellow a little deeper, so I'm going to add some orange to that as well. And I'm just stirring them with toothpicks rather than, toothpicks are easy, and I can throw them away when I'm done with it. So I've got my little color palette all ready, and my outline is completely dry. So here's a few things I learned while doing this. In the smaller areas, I found that using a brush, not super helpful because you get drippies and it's just a thing. Don't do it. So I really liked using these toothpicks to kind of just move that tinted universal medium around and kind of push it into the corners. Now, here's the thing. Number one, if you go outside the lines, no big deal. No one's really going to see it. It's on black and it's going to be transparent. Also, you don't need to try to get a super flat surface, and here's why. If you've ever seen stained glass, you know that it ebbs and flows and has lights and darks, and that's just one of the characteristics of it due to how it's made and how the pigments rest inside of it. So doing that here by moving around with that toothpick and not making a smooth surface, you're going to get that light, dark, wavy, unsteady, reflective surface that is in stained glass. Now in my bigger spots, I did find it was easier to start with kind of a blob that I put on with the paintbrush and moved it around as much as I could, and then used the toothpick to go back in and then push it into the areas. I found trying to do the whole thing with just a toothpick it was just going to take too long now. It was just going to take way too long. So I kind of pushed it to the edges and then just used my toothpick to go back in and push it into the corners and push it up to the edge. This would be a super fun project to do with your kids over the summer, because then you can decorate your house with all these just beautiful, fun creations that are just going to let all sorts of fun light in. I would love also to see if anyone wanted to use their own image for this. Obviously, I've got this one off of the internet, but it would be so fun to see someone draw their own stained glass image and then go back in and do this and just have a completely unique and personal project. This is great because you can really customize it to whatever colors you want, whatever colors you have on hand. And I had so much fun. My only regret is that I wish I would have used that pink more, because I only used it for the outline and I am absolutely obsessed with it. I love it. So you can see I've got my colors in, and to finish this off, all I did was let it completely dry, and then I just took a pair of scissors and cut around it, and then I added just a little bit of adhesive and stuck it to my window. I hope you guys enjoyed it and you have fun making your own faux stained glass, guys. Have an amazing day, and I will see you guys later.